basically mobility we can identify occupational mobility and geographical mobility. Why the mobility is important for our subject economics. Okay, we know some of the resources we can mobile, we can move, we can shift. Some resources are limited or some are not. Okay, now when we go through the land, the mobility. Now think about occupationally, we can use this land for different kind of occupations. Okay, basically now think about building a shopping complex. We can use this land. For farming we can use. Okay, agriculture sector of course we can use. So occupational basis of course we can use. Right? How about the geographically? Is the land mobile? The mobility, how about the mobility of geographically? We cannot geographically move this land. Okay. Now, but we can grow. Up to certain level, of course, we can shift some of the areas. As example, now shifting a zoo to another place. Okay. Now think about those kind of scenarios. Up to certain limit, up to certain area, of course, we can do it. But can we move 100% land to another place? No, we cannot do. So we can identify geographical mobility limited. Land is geographically immobile. Okay, so put a highlight land occupationally mobile, geographically immobile. Fundamentally. But as I mentioned you, okay, based on new technology, based on new methods, we can fill. See, we can fill with fill from soil. Okay, so thereby we can develop another land that we can use. But this kind of involvement or the projects or developments are very rare. Why? Costly, high. Some countries they are not a person to allocate cost. One good example, Sri Lanka. Our capability developing of these 4 cities very less. So China, fundful. Okay, so we use the technology, right? So thereby, some mobility is there, but very few, the limitations are there. But actually we can say land geographically mobility no. Okay, up to certain point of course we can use. And special scenarios like this, developing a new island maybe. Okay, so using of the by filling of the sea, of course we can do it, but based on the requirement, the capital, all things, the investment, it's not a practically each and every country can apply. Okay, right. How about this mobility of labor? Yes. Now, mobility of labor, occupationally as well as geographically, we can move our labor occupationally. We can shift it. Okay. Now, shifting to another job, yes. Occupational basis, yes. Because skill, experience, knowledge, okay. So we can apply some multitaskers are there. Their experience is vast. The knowledge, of course, higher education background. So the possibilities are there. Geographically, of course, we can shift, but there are certain concerns. What are those? Okay, here. Now, locating geographically refers the ability of workers move one location to another. Occupational, we can identify the switching one job to another. Okay. Now sometimes even occupational we can identify now. There can be limitations now. As example, just say, okay, so based on my present experience, all the things, I can move to a similar job. But when I apply for a different kind of job, occupation, the limitations are there. Okay, so I need to around the area. So sometimes I need to go down the course, maybe some special scenarios we can identify. But occupational basis, we can say yes, we can. Because geographically we can shift, but there are certain limitations, issues that we are facing. Living cost, family concerns. Now, doing of job in Colombo area, costly is higher than the Kandy or Trinco maybe like. But the person shifting from Trinco to Colombo, it's a different kind of story. Person shifting from Colombo to Trinco, of course, the same scenario, right? Now we need to find a place. Then we need to think about the cost of the area, the living cost. Okay. In Sri Lanka, there's not much scenario, but when you come to other countries, okay, not even UK, Canada, some of the countries, okay. So area based, geographical, we can identify living cost is main. The city side, of course, the living cost is higher. But the village area, okay, especially those areas, the living cost amount is low. So the people or the employees will consider, okay, compared to person income, cash shift, okay, is a profitable one for me or is suitable for me. Sometimes based on the family requirement, family members they are requesting, okay, you know, based on this kind of a scenario, sometimes they are not willing to shift even the opportunity is a good one. Okay. So thereby geographically shifting, there can be certain of limitations of the issues. Here now family ties, living costs, cultural barriers. Okay, now to go a country like India, language barriers, cultural barriers, belief systems, likewise. Okay. Now occupational basis. Here. These are some limitations. Scale. I'm not experienced about that area. I'm new one, but personal experience. Okay, personal. I'm doing this kind of job. Of course, that job I'm experienced, but shifting to another one, the expectation can be different. So thereby, we are facing difficulty. Sometimes because of high specialization areas. It was especially for doctors. Okay, surgeon likewise. Some are specifically specialized area. So, shifting possibilities, opportunities are less. Age, health conditions, even we think we need to identify under this area. But finally, the mobility of capital. Okay, mobility of capital. Capital, occupational basis and geographical basis. Occupationally, we can use geographically up to some point. Of course, we can change or we can move. Now, look at this one first introduction part. Capital, of course, man-made resources, production. Anything man, machines, maybe vehicles, anything, buildings. Okay. Now, occupationally, occupation basis we can use for different kind of purposes. Capital, computer can use for different schools, hospitals, anything. But now think about delivery trucks, supermarket, factories, of course we can. Okay, but printing press, some specific the capital products are there, we cannot use for different purposes. Vehicles we can use for transportation of machines, maybe transportation of vegetables, maybe different kinds. For some of the machines, some of the equipment, we are using specific requirement only. So those kind of things, occupation basis, we cannot use. That's the actual. Okay. But geographical mobility, ability of moving capital to another place, location. Somewhere capital equipment, so of course easily we can shift. Now, good example in here it's mentioned about the laptop, computer. Easily we can stop. Easily we can reallocate. But how about the heavy equipments? Okay, some machines. It will take weeks to fix. Again, we'll do trials. Okay, then especially for relocating process, we need to remove the parts. So in the removing process, there's a process. There's a time being. Okay, so missing of the equipment can be misplaces can be happen. Okay, sometimes because of the climate conditions, some machines we cannot operate efficiently because of high wind maybe, high cold maybe like that. So thereby, some of the machines easily we can shift, easily we can relocate, but some are we cannot. Okay, that's the nature. So geographically, yes, some of the machines we can, some of the capital equipment we can relocate, we can establish, but some are we cannot. A good example, power plantations. Easily can be shipped to another place. Okay, production systems, heavy machines, the mining, so using of the heavy trucks. Then would they put us causes of immobility of capital. Okay, read this part with it. Then with the underline. Most probably second week I will upload another tutorial for next month or the third week most probably, okay? Right. First, mobility of enterprises. This year, okay. Right. This year they can ask question from this area, mobility of enterprises. Now compare the land, compare the labor, compare the capital. How about the mobility of enterprises, occupational as well as geographical? Yes. Yes, 100% yes. Okay. Now occupation basis we can identify. Okay. We can shift it, the possibilities of shifting. Now here, now think about the bakery owner. Okay, can shift to another place and start the business. Okay, online businesses. So transportation or even the other services, yes, easily we can occupationally we can shift one other place. Okay. Online, of course, there's no issue. Okay. Now think about bakery owner. When bakery owner shifts to another place, there can be certain of other businesses already established. There can be certain time period to again back to the normal sales or enhancing of sales or catching of market, knowing about the market. There can be some practical things, okay? But shifting possibilities, of course. Chinbuda, clear?
Yes, sir.
Senara, clear with it? Synergy?
Yes, clear.
Okay, right? But basically, even occupationally, as I mentioned, sometimes, going to another place, sometimes the customers, the customer base can be different. So sales can be lower. Or availability of the faster, so facilities, power, electric, basically water supply, okay, road conditions, those things can be different or sometimes lack. So thereby some businesses facing difficulties, okay. But the concern is about, can we move? Can we shift? Yes. Then to the geographically. Also same scenario, we can relocate. Occupational basis we can use for different purposes, different because of the personal knowledge, experience, okay. So they can re-establish, start the business somewhere else. Then they put us causes of mobility of enterprises. As of now, okay, they didn't ask question from this area. I just developed this answer. Okay, put a star, even the previous one. The capital part. Right. One of the scenario, lack of knowledge or expertise. Okay, we are running, doing a manufacturing business. Now we shifted to another place. Lack of expert, lack of availability, human resource, difficulty. Okay, after we move, what are the difficulties? Then after the finance, again we need to start the business. Again we need to recruit people. Again we need to allocate resources. So finance, there can be shortages. The fear of risk or failure possibilities are here. Now think about, in present X area, we are doing business very well. Perfectly, business is running, sales are good. Then after that, we decide to move to N place. But N place, lot of competitors, lot of similar businesses available. So customer base already divided into several of the competitors. So we need to put more effort to catch market. We need to struggle. So thereby, risk of failing possibilities are higher. So fear is there. Okay. Sometimes legal requirements. Okay. Talking about especially for chemical basis industries or manufacturing basis industry, sound, air. Okay. So likewise, some are pressure from the environment, pressure from the society. Those things are very common. So thereby, again, we are struggling to control the business. So okay. The other thing is for the actually cultural barriers, belief systems, okay, religious barriers can be there. Language barriers, those are one common, okay. So practically, we need to think about, yes, we can say geographically, occupationally, enterprises can move, but the rest of the part, you can shift to another job. Another job means new environment, new staff, new members, new culture, new belief pattern. Okay, so we need to study about this environment. We need to work with new employees, subordinates. Okay, so thereby it will take some time period for us. So this geographically, yes, we can shift, but that's about the availability of customers. Other customers are suitable for our product. Other income levels are sufficient. Now think about, we are producing our business mainly focus about high income earners, but the area we relocate, income are lower. More people are depending on the agriculture sector. So likewise, particular scenarios we need to identify. I hope this is clear, okay, all of you. Right? Okay. So based on the paper, I foresee this area, a question from this immobility area, even capital.